everybody, it is Patrice. It's your girl Patrice. Looking forward to this live. So hopefully I see some of you all joining me soon. So y'all know me from Ready, Set, Go Consult. Some of you all know me over there on Grants Works and some of the other handles I have as well. But I just wanted to, hello, doing my first live here on Ready, Set, Go Consult. So hopefully y'all will be able to join me soon so we can talk about how to start a consulting business for under $500. And I got some details here for you all so you can, just go check out some of this yourselves and see if this is something that you want to just kind of test out for yourself. Can you actually start a consulting business for under $500? And camera's flashing a little bit. All right. So again, it's Patrice Davis of Ready, Set, Go Consult. I am the owner of Grants Works Consulting and Grants Works Academy. So, I love to talk about consulting. That's one of my favorite things to talk about. For many, many years, I have been sitting on the idea of starting a consulting business. And I finally did it in January 2020, specifically on January 17th, 2020. And I was really, I thought I was at that stage where I could, use what I learned and, use that basically to earn my own money, get rid of the middleman, as they say. That middleman is the employer. For those of you who, of course, still have your employer, by all means, stay there for as long as you need to. But I was at that stage when I needed to change. So I decided to launch a consulting business. And I'm here. And one of the things I do on Ready, Set, Go Consult all the time is talk about how simple it is to start a consulting business and actually serve clients, serve businesses using the knowledge you have. So one of the things we talk about, of course, is starting with what you know, right? So if you're in the healthcare industry, then, more than likely that's the industry you're going to serve. And we can even narrow it down even further. The healthcare industry is pretty broad. Maybe you've come from hospital administration, or maybe you only worked in private practices. Maybe you were the best person at running the front of the office or the back of the office. That's, those are some of the areas in a private practice. So you could actually consult on, develop a consulting business. So one of the things I recently wrote about was, if you are a physician and you've started a practice, and, most physicians aren't necessarily, gonna maybe start a consulting business, but they could. I'm familiar with an optometrist who actually has a couple of optometry practices. And he also consults with, very large companies. He also even has a mobile optometry truck. So there are different streams of income that you can use your expertise to jumpstart. So, for example, he's a consultant, again, with large companies. And basically what he does is he helps those companies staff their optometry practices. And he helps the optometrists themselves by, providing professional development. So he's got all the angles that he's operating. So just wanted to give you some ideas of how you can use what you know to open up other streams of income. So hoping you guys will join in with me soon so I can share some more tips on how to start a consulting business for under 500. So I'm going to jump into it now because this is something I'm really excited about. When I started in January 2020, I was operating from, just my savings. I'd resigned from my last position So, one of the good things about starting a consulting business, you can do it for very little cost. So, so I went ahead, of course, beforehand, and I wanted to make sure that these costs still lined up. For me, I think I definitely spend maybe under $600 to start the business. So, but I figured out how we can do it for even less than that, right? So if you're going to start your consulting business, one of the first things that people focus on, and rightfully so, is you got, get your website or even a landing page up and running. I recommend just getting a full-fledged website, and you can get a website and pay a low monthly rate, a very nice website that even has e-commerce functions and different things, so you can actually sell certain products. Maybe you have downloadables that you want to start selling when you first launch. You can get a website with all of that. I actually have here a Squarespace website that you can get. Let me get these numbers for you. I have that you can get a whole website through, I'm talking about, with all the bells and whistles from Squarespace for $33 a month. And that's actually, the higher level. You could probably even do the lower level one that has, again, e-commerce functionality, all the things that you want to be able to do with a website, a contact form, they have that built in. And of course, all the services that you would expect. That's just the website, right? So that's only $33 a month. And that's if you use the monthly payment option. So if you actually decided to go and do maybe the annual payment option, you're going to save a good amount of money. But what we're trying to do is have you start for under $500. So let's go with that monthly amount. Another thing, of course, is your scheduling system. What scheduling system are you going to use? So I happen to use Calendly. There's also Acuity and one or two others. I use Calendly. Calendly is $10 a month. And about maybe 6 months ago, I increased it to the next level, $15 a month. And I basically increased it to $15 a month, I think, because I wanted to add one or two other staff. I have 2 staff members that work with me, full-time staff that work with me. And I think it was also because I wanted to be able to facilitate folks paying me using Calendly for my one-on-one consultations. So just want to give you an idea of what that costs. So that's only $15 a month max. You can start out at the $10 a month level. You also want to get a domain name. Obviously, before you even get the website, you want to get a domain name. And you can get a domain name for as little as $9.50 all the way up to about $19. There are some domain names where maybe some companies already purchased it a long time ago. They know it's an in-demand, a name that a lot of people would want. And so they purchase those domain names and then they try to resell it to you at a very, very high price. So I was actually looking up a domain name earlier for another initiative I'm about to launch. And I think that was $1,500 for that domain name. Some people will pay for it because they really want it. I'm not going to do it. We were able to find something that had one less letter. And so we're going to go ahead and get that domain. We already did it, actually. It was that $9.48. So I'm just giving you examples of, just some of the little costs that you need to factor in before you launch your business, your consulting or other service-based business. Then you also want to get a CRM system. You don't have to. It's a great way to start off, but I'm just giving you an example. The CRM system, customer relationship management system that we use is HoneyBook. And we don't think we even maximize HoneyBook like that. I mean, I really think we could be doing a lot more with HoneyBook, but I just wanted to give you an idea of a cost, right? So actually, when I first started with HoneyBook several months ago, about 6 months ago, they had a 3-month promo where you could actually use it for 3 months with zero cost. The idea is they want you to keep using it. All of these applications, what they want you to do is, starting using it at no cost, because over time you're going to start depending on that application so much. You're going to put all your contacts in there and all the other things and get used to using all their cool templates. And so you're not going to necessarily have a problem, or you're going to be less likely to end your account because you've already been using it. You've developed a relationship almost with the thing. And so you're not going to have a problem paying that, paying the fees for that. So just wanted to throw that out there. Just want to give you an example. So again, HoneyBook, $0 cost. Another thing to consider is, of course, your, your email address. So even though some people may be like, okay, I just go ahead and get a Gmail at $0, go ahead and pay the little $72, get yourself a Google Workspace account. It looks much better when you have a Google, an email address that has your domain name. So if your business is Temple Consulting, it's better to have like your first initial last name at templeconsulting.com rather than templeconsulting@gmail.com. Not impossible, but it's just better if you are, if you just go out just helping people, just go out, with your domain name in your email address, just start out on scratch, because what you don't want to do is you done started, communicating with folks at the Gmail, and then maybe a year into your business, 2 years into your business, you're like, you know what, I'm not feeling this Gmail anymore. You're going to switch over to, whatever at Temple Consulting. It's just a slight, shift that's unnecessary. Just go ahead and start off, pay the $72. Everything I'm giving you is going to be under that $500. So just want to make sure you all are aware of that. Another thing that you definitely want to start out with, a lot of people neglect it and they just start out in their Excel spreadsheet. Go ahead and get that FreshBooks. Go ahead and get that cheap, the lower level of QuickBooks. I recommend starting with FreshBooks. It may be a little bit easier to use than QuickBooks. There's also, I believe, Xero, Xero. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it well. I use QuickBooks. Go ahead and get that FreshBooks. Even though HoneyBook does allow you to send invoices, you want to have a FreshBooks or a QuickBooks just in case. Let me give you an example of why it would be helpful. Eventually, you're going to start want to run reports. You want to run reports, standard business reports. You may not be thinking about it in year one, but let's say, for example, you get a great 6-figure, contract with a large company, and you want to start running a variety of reports, or several large companies, quite frankly, some, or even with a government contract. There are going to be times where you're going to need to be able to run reports to prove, hey, I'm only charging expenses for this particular contract on this particular account in my accounting system. I'm just giving you an example. I want you all to think long term. I don't want you to think, okay, I'm going to start and I'm going to just go ahead and put things in my Excel. Start off with the best that you can afford, because it's going to result in less transitions from one, let's call it a rudimentary system, to a more evolved or more sophisticated system. So just wanted to make sure that you all are thinking big picture. Y'all are not getting into business to change, right? Or because you plan on doing something just for now. You're getting into business hopefully for the long run. One of the things I teach folks in the accelerator, Ready, Set, Go Consult Accelerator, I talk about it all the time on Instagram, is that you want to make decisions, put in processes, put in systems, so that, when you are ready to make that transition, right, whether you're going to sell the business or something else, you already have certain systems in place. It's not a botchy. It's not, what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of a mismatched system. You're putting it in place so it's as smooth as possible. When you have smooth systems in place, then the way you serve your clients are going to reflect that. So just know that that's all. I'm always going to be like, yes, this may cost a little bit more. Go ahead and spend that little bit more money so that you don't have to deal with the heartache of transitioning and changing in the future. All right. So that's my little speech. Now, you want to probably get a project management system. We currently use a project management system because, again, we want you to start off with a business, a consulting or other service-based business, thinking about what your business is going to grow to. So we use a project management system, and every time a new client comes on, we just create a new project in the application. And what we use is Asana. So you just go ahead and think about, how you can, if that's the system you want to use. There are others. There's Monday.com. There's Trello. There are a whole bunch of other ones out there. We use Asana. We like Asana. There are a number of reasons why I use it. And it's just something for you all to consider. Obviously, I gave you all of that before I told y'all to go ahead and register your business with your Secretary of State. That's about $50. So as you can see, for $50 to register your business, Asana, I forgot to mention, that is free. I used it for free for about 2-3 years before I decided recently to ramp up to premium, because we had, we just had to do it. We had a lot of clients that have a whole bunch of stakeholders. And so in order to be able to share certain workspaces, we needed that premium. FreshBooks, like I said, that's $15 a month. I forgot to give you all that price. Then, of course, Google Workspace, $72. Just go ahead and pay it so that you can have your email address with your domain name. And, of course, your CRM system. As I mentioned before, HoneyBook was free. At least that's the promo I had. But they're actually $8 a month at their lowest level. And a domain name, $9 to $19 if you choose a domain name that some company didn't buy and is trying to charge you a premium fee for. Also, landing page and website. So just again, one day, hi there, Business Credit Best Team. So glad that you are here. How's it going? I was just giving it up, talking about how you can start a consulting business for under $500, right? So or any service-based business. I am all about saving money, reducing those costs on the front end, but at the same time, putting systems in place so that you're not having to change down the road. So I went over, obviously registering the business. That's a basic thing. That's a fundamental thing. Getting a proper project management system, a proper customer relationship management system, website, your accounting system. You are a business credit bestie. A domain name, your landing page, and your scheduling system. All of that for under $500. So you're ready to go with long-term systems in place, ready to serve your clients. You're not using a disjointed system. You're not using Excel to track your expenses. You're just launching your business because you're launching your business looking like you're ready to take on big clients. You're launching your business small because you're going to grow and you need to be able to sort of scale up your services and not, having to change and transition from what I call a rudimentary system, which is the Excel spreadsheets and, the Gmail addresses, all the way up to, of course, serving businesses with everything already in place. So, if you have any questions for me, like what is it? I've been in business now for going on 4 years, but in that 4-year period, we've made a lot of progress. And I use there's a strategy I use to make that progress. Part of the reason I decided to take that strategy is because I'm in a particular field where not a lot of people operate in this space. And so I have to actually demonstrate my expertise. So that's what I did in the early years of my business. I'm not feeling the need to do that as much now. But I work in federal grants. I'm a federal grant consultant. Not a lot of people in that space. And quite frankly, because it's so complex, people expect you to come with the game. They expect you to come to know what you're talking about. So in order for me to stand out, I was very strategic in the way I did that. And as a result of some intentional things that I did in 2020, when everything we know what was happening in 2020, I was able to really position myself. One of the things that I did, and I will always talk about this. I will always talk about this. Y'all, I'm telling you, hey there, it says Dr. GF, Med MD. It's a doctor. But yeah, that's I'm so glad you showed up. One of the things we're talking specifically about starting a consulting business for under $500. Now, one of the examples I shared earlier for the doctor that's in the room was an optometrist, right? Who actually has several practices, who also consults and has a mobile truck, right? So, and his consulting clients are on both the corporate side and on the optometry practice side. So what does he do? He actually consults and provides professional development for some of those optometrists that are just starting their business. Hi, how's it going? Right? And then he also consults with the corporations who are trying to find experienced optometrists, and he services schools, right, with his mobile truck. So you understand? So you can be, and I'm sure y'all know this. Y'all don't need me to tell you this. I'm just giving you a really good example of a medical professional that was like, you know what? I'm good with my medical practices. The money's coming in, all is good, but I know I can maximize my knowledge. I can serve other medical professionals who want to do what I'm doing. I can serve the corporations who want to get into in contact and work with these medical professionals. And I can even, and as I said, he's got like 6 streams of income, and he's a medical professional. So just want to, so consulting has so many possibilities. And that's why I like talking about it so much. When you get to like 15, 20, 25 years of experience, I haven't got to 25 years yet, I don't think. There's so much knowledge that you are getting, so much knowledge you've learned. You done worked in 4 or 5 different environments. You done worked in a small company, a large company. You done worked in corporate. Maybe you worked in nonprofits. Maybe you worked at a university. That's 5 different environments you have been in doing something similar. Do you know how much knowledge you done gained over the 5 different organizations? If you connect those dots, you realize, I can advise small organizations, because I was there at that small organization, and the way they did it is similar to the way the large organization did it, except there were these small differences, right? Or the hospital did it in this way, and it's very similar to what university did it. So when you have clients coming to you, that's a university or a hospital, a small org or a large org, you got all these connections you can make, all this experience, all this expertise. If you got a small org who wants to start operating more like a large org, right, you can say, okay, if you want to be able to ramp up, you want to scale up whatever practice, whatever process, you already have really good advice based on your experience in those different environments. So to me, consulting, especially once you get a certain amount of experience, consulting is one of the best ways, I don't even want to call it a side hustle, right? Because I believe that once you get to a certain amount of experience, it's not, and you want to consult, consulting isn't a side hustle. You are literally using your experience, your expertise, your knowledge, your skills to actually solve problems for companies. And I'm talking B2B consulting. Of course, there's B2C, when you're consulting with individuals. Maybe you're a nutritionist and you are consulting with individuals who want to improve their diets. I'm talking about primarily B2B consulting, but completely open to sharing some insight on that. So what I was saying earlier about starting a consulting business under $500, what I was sharing were some of the things you definitely want to have in place. You want to have your scheduling system. That's a no-brainer. I use Calendly. That's $10 a month. You also want to have your website. I currently use WordPress, and I use something Kajabi, but you can also use Squarespace. And I had that in there. That's a website with e-commerce functionality, everything for $33 a month. That's the whole bells and whistles, right? You can get something for even less than that. You can have a CRM system. We use HoneyBook, right? The customer relationship management system. I'm saying that when you start your consulting business, try to avoid the rudimentary tools. Don't use Excel when you can go ahead and get a FreshBooks account for a very low cost. I think that's $15 a month, because you're eventually going to need to be able to have a proper accounting system in place. So why start out with Excel when you can start out with FreshBooks? Just spend a little bit of time with it. Don't tell yourself you're not good with money, or you're not good with tracking reports, or you're not good with financial reports. The story you tell yourself is what your reality becomes. I've known a lot of people that say I'm not good with math, and it's not that they're not good with math. They're just good at telling themselves they're not good with math. And as a result, they're not good with math, right? You become what you say. So I'm actually going back in here. So I talked about the scheduling system. I talked about the website. I talked about the CRM. And all of a sudden now I have this system, y'all, called Remarkable, and it's trying to turn off on me, but I know it's charged up. And it's basically a electronic notebook And it's great. Now, I don't need to have a whole bunch of different notebooks anymore, but it's really, really helpful for when you are, working with different clients. You don't have to go back and say, oh, did I write those notes about that client I had last year in my pink notebook, or did I have it in my green notebook? You ain't got time. You're trying to serve your clients. It's best to just go ahead, if you can, put it in an electronic notebook. You don't have to use the one I use. This was actually referred to me by someone else. I've only been using this for less than a year, but guess what it's doing? It's trying to turn off on me. So I'm going to see what's going on. But drop any questions. I would love to hear any questions. Let me know if you have a consulting business, or you want to start a consulting business. If, for example, for that doctor, are you trying to start a consulting business, as a way to, have another stream of income? And if so, let me know what you're considering. For Business Credit Bestie, would love to know what you do. And if you're interested, any questions that you may have for me. So every Thursday or Friday, depending on what I have going on, my plan is to do these lives. I actually love doing these kinds of being in front of the camera kind of activities. I don't do them enough. Not on Instagram. I've been doing webinars, y'all, since 2020. And that's actually one of the ways that I actually was able to grow my business, is because I'm doing webinars all the time. And that's a strategy that we share in the Ready, Set, Go Consult Accelerator. But funny enough, one of the things I was going to talk about was how in 2020 I was able to kind of catapult my little business with, no clients in early part of 2020. And the reason I did that, and this is what I was going to say, is because I believe a lot in collaboration and partnership. 4 other women, 3 of whom I still haven't met to this day, right? We actually collaborated and created I think it was 6 weeks of webinars. We were all working in the grant space. I'm a specialist in grant compliance and government grants. One other one was a grant writer. And the other one was a grant evaluator. Basically, we all worked in a grant space, but in different areas. And for 6 weeks, we sat online. We met each other every week, 2 or 3 times a week, created PowerPoints. One did the design, the other one did the writing, the other one created the little promo things to post in all the different social media, like all the different Facebook pages and the Facebook groups. And for 6 weeks, we had over 200 people from May to June that joined us to learn about how to get grants, how to write grants, how to get government grants, how to be compliant with their grants, how to make sure that their grant funded program is being evaluated properly. And each one of us presented each week. And I'm telling you guys, as a result of those webinars, I gained the confidence. And I just started my business in January. I gained the confidence to speak on camera, with people who are, the over 200 people that joined us over that 6-week period. And work collaboratively with other women. That was an amazing experience. We were called the Nonprofit Chat Room. Go ahead and Google, if you go ahead in Facebook now and look up Nonprofit Chat Room, you'll see, there is still a Facebook group with about a little bit over 100 folks in it. But we started that back in 2020. We have since branched off and started our own various Facebook groups, but that nonprofit chat room was one of the best examples of why it's important for women to collaborate with each other if they have complementary businesses, and not see each other as competitors. We're not always going to be competitors. We really need to lift each other up when possible and collaborate with each other. And I'm telling you, that was amazing. I've only met one in real life. We met at a coffee shop like 3 or 4 months ago. All the other women I haven't met in real life. One woman, I've actually worked with her. Well, I actually was able to refer her for 2 contracts. One was a 5-figure contract. I think they were both 5-figure contracts. So, collaborating with other women business owners is something I'm always going to promote, because I saw for myself how amazing of an experience that was. So yeah, drop any questions. I have about just maybe a 5 more minutes. Thank y'all for coming to my first Instagram live. Like I said, I've been doing these, things, webinars and all these other things for years, but never did an IG live. So every week, every Thursday, every Friday, or Friday, join me here at 7 o'clock. I also want to let you all know that, if you've been following me, I have the Ultimate Consultant Starter Kit. That's been selling really, really well. And I'm so, so grateful for those of you who have purchased it and then provided really great feedback on how it was able to help you get some of these legal templates that you've been kind of sweating for a while. And thank you. She said, I'll be in touch. Thank you so much. I'll see you later. Have a great weekend. And I also want to let you all know that coming up on May 17th, 18th, and 19th from 6 to 7:30 p.m., I'm going to have my client attraction masterclass. It's a 3-day masterclass. So I'm really, 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 really excited about that. Anytime I get a chance to come and work with you all one-on-one directly, not one-on-one, but in a group kind of structure, I really, really like that. So thank you. Thanks again for joining me. And I'm so glad that you guys, hopefully I shared something that you're able to kind of put in place or something that you found inspiring. But as I said before, make sure that we work together, collaborate, because we're going to win when we do things together. All right. All right now. Bye.